What's up, everyone? I'm Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review, where today I'm going over another classic album that it's my first time listening to it. And I've been going on this trip. I wanted to just listen to a bunch of like just classic albums from rock to pop to rap. Uh, so I'm just going through a bunch of albums that I never heard before that are technically like, I guess, for quote unquote lack of better words, like some of the greatest albums of all time or life changing albums. So today I'm gonna be discussing Pink Floyd's "The Dark Side of the Moon." Now, only thing I knew coming into this album is that like I've seen this logo cover on a bunch of T-shirts, like the prism. I guess you would call it. I've seen that logo on so many things throughout my life, but I never took the time to actually sit down and just listen to the album. And I'm kind of mad at myself for that after listening to the album. But let's get into it. This is their 8th album. Came out in spring of '73, and again, their great albums being their latter albums. Like you almost had 10 albums, and this is the one. Like this is the one. Like artists rarely get to that moment these days. So it still amazes me that you could be on your 8th album and this is the one that just your pinnacle album in a way. A lot of this album was primarily developed during their live performances on tour. The band premiered several records from this album while they were on tour before they even recorded anything. And it's a concept album that kind of focuses on just the pressures and hardships they faced as a band on tour and just their whole tenure, I guess, on top as a way, for lack of better words. And it says the new material was also recorded in 72 and 70 through 73 at Abbey Road Studios in London. So if you're at Abbey Road, you know some great shit got to come out. And this album is fucking great. The album starts with Speak to Me. Let's just get into it. The album starts with Speak to Me. It's like a heartbeat kind of thing. And, going into it, I had to listen back, not just to the intro, but just to the album in general a couple times just to understand the first time I listened to it. I was like, okay, what did I just listen to? So I had to listen again, just to get an idea of what they were trying to do. I'm not saying I accomplished that in any way, but I just had to keep listening to it to see what was the plan and what was the goal, what was the concept, what's the greatness. So it starts with Speak to Me, and it's a heartbeat. Pretty much, I think it's like just the start of life, like not even start of life, but just start of life to me. That flows into Breathe, In the Air. And one thing I noticed immediately was that how the transitions on this album is just seamless. And if you listen to any of my other reviews regarding music, you know that I'm a big fan of transitions. I'm a big fan of everything being cohesive and one song flowing into the next song and that song flowing to the next song without a hiccup. You know what I mean? Like those are the best albums to me when you can like, oh shit, I didn't even notice the song changed. And I had a lot of those moments that I'll discuss when I get to it in the songs. But with the way the intro flowed into Breathe, like again, I think it's a message for new life, describing how life will be for the most part. What do you say? Run, rabbit, run. Dig that hole, forget the sun. And when at last the work is done, don't sit down. It's time to dig another one. I'm like, damn. Guess that's true. Your work's never done out this motherfucker. As soon as you hit something that the ceiling that you think is success, here comes another goal and another obstacle, and you got to start all over by digging another hole. And it's just, I thought that was a cool metaphor, just for anyone to listen to, anyone that's trying to be successful, anyone just living life. Once you accomplish one thing, here comes another. Or, yeah, here comes another problem. Here comes another solution you have to gather up or conjure up. It's just a never-ending cycle. So I dig the, run, rabbit, run kind of thing. And then that rose in the way he says that, and that rose right into On the Run. And it's like a lot of the songs on here, which I didn't know. Like I said, this is my first time listening to it. A lot of songs on here, a lot of in-betweens. I guess you can't say interludes because they're like full songs, but they're instrumentals. So it'll be a lot of instrumentals describing the mood and telling the story within themselves. I thought that part was really dope. Like, really, really dope. And that transition was fucking amazing. I love the synths that they use on here. All the instruments they use on here, but I'm a big fan of synths, and when they're used correctly and not just like in some crazy corny pop way. Like I love that. And to me, without having any lyrics, like, cause I'm just tying things together. I try not to like, well, I didn't. I don't like to when I'm listening to new music. I don't like to hear other people's opinions. Like, so I don't read reviews. I don't read anything. I'll just read certain articles on what the artist was feeling or what the artist said, just to understand. But I hate, like, I don't do reviews because I'm gonna do a review myself, and I don't want to get anybody else's idea involved in mine. But to me, On the Run, when it has like the person at the airport and the flight attendant called them for the flight, and it sounds like a person just rushing to get to their flight, and that could be a symbolism for life and things of that nature. You're always rushing to get to something or reach something. And Richard Wright also says it deals with the pressures of traveling, which often would bring the fear of death for him. I was like, I never thought about that. Like, but when you miss that flight, when you like late to the airport, or you kind of feel that way. Like, if for those that ever, I'm pretty sure everybody travels somewhere, but that's kind of the feeling. I never even put those two or two together, but that song flows into Time, and when that beat drops, man, that shit is just amazing. And the production level on this album, like I said, to have pretty much half the album be instrumental tracks, the production has to be A1 for me to even bother to stay and listen to the song. I'll just skip right over it. And to go into Time from On the Run, which is great. And that's that switch mid verse, it's just like, I just be wondering what year was this? 73? Like, the stuff that they were doing always amazed me. And it's also something I think about, like, was it harder then to come up with new stuff, or is it harder now because all the great stuff has been done? Like, which one is? I always have a thought in my head, like, which one is harder? Just a weird thing I think about with music. That guitar solo, fucking amazing. I have a thing for great guitar solos. The background singers added a perfect element to the record. It's very amazing when like rock bands bring in other people, like, because I rarely hear like a rock band bring in background singers, especially like women background singers, to like just fill those voids in records that just wasn't, that they couldn't add. So I thought that was just dope when you realize that maybe we need to add somebody else here that's not in the band. Like, you rarely see bands do stuff like that. It's a band for a reason. What's the line? Taking away the moments that make up a dull day, fritter and waste hours in offhand ways, kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. You are young and life is long, and it's time to kill today. And then one day you find 10 years have gone behind you. No one told you when to run. You just missed the starting gun. And I was like, oh shit, that's perfect, because it's like, it deals with the idea. Well, I'll just say Roger Waters got the idea when he realized he was no longer prepared for anything in life, but was right in the middle of it at the age of 29. And to me, listening to it, it reminded me of just like teenage years, and when you're young and you feel like you have all this time, you could waste this day away, you could waste this day away, you could waste this day away, and then when you look up, it's been 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, and you're like, oh shit, now you're on the time clock. Now you got to rush to do things that you wasted pretty much all your time doing, nothing that you could accomplish. And I think it's just something that everybody probably faced in life. Like, I'm not even probably, everyone faced that in life, and I think that part was just so relatable and it's just so dope. And it's also just what happens when you let life pass you by. The next song goes into This Great Gig in the Sky, which is kind of this instrumental track, and it has vocals from Claire Torrey, I think that's her name, and I think her vocals on there is just breathtaking. She just kind of like freestyling with her vocals on there, but it fits with the music so well. And it was a story about when they brought her in the studio to record it, they just told her, like, kind of do what you feel in a way, and she was having a tough time with that. Like, you tell somebody to do what they feel, they're like, I don't know, this is how I feel. And like, so she was having a tough time until she was but she was inspired to sing like an instrument on the record. And I think that's why it sounds so perfect when you listen to it. Like, she sounds like just another instrument. She could be a cello or a synth on the beat itself. She blends with it very well. it was some backlash with that. I guess when she finished the record, she just thought they were unimpressed with it. They wasn't going to use it just because they're just the way they kind of like treated it at the moment. So she felt like, I guess I won't make an album until the album came out, and she heard herself all over the song, and she only got paid like 30 euros. uh, so it was a whole thing. I guess it was settled out of court in like the early 2000s where she got an undisclosed amount and was credited on it. And you know that undisclosed amount was probably crazy because this album is like 14 times platinum. Like she's literally all over the record. Like she's literally just singing, harmonizing all over the record. So I'm always for the artist getting their just due. So I appreciate that. At least it was retroactively made, right? It's crazy that this album came out in 73 and it took to 2009 for her to get where she was old. But that song sounds like the end of an album. But it is the end of side A, and then you flip to side B, and it starts with money. And, you know, for me, it's hard to understand. Are they talking about the capitalists they see, or are they talking about themselves? Like, you know, because you're this big rock band now too. You're making a lot of money as well. Like the ideas and the symbolism of the lyrics on here could be about either or. It's a line where it says, "I love it's like towards the end of the verses, and the beat kind of heightens." And he's like, "New car, caviar, 4-star daydream. I think I buy me a football team." And I just thought that the way that the beat switches at each part of the first and second verse, it's just amazing. Like it's just amazing. That sax solo was A1. A transition again is just the transition from the saxophone into the guitar solo is just like, damn, how did you even? I wouldn't even like. I don't really think about hearing saxophones over electric guitars or on the same record. Like they kind of don't go together for me, but they made it sound perfect, and it was just a perfect record. Like, what were these guys on when they made this album? Us and Them. Honestly, it kind of gives me a soulful vibe. Even when it hits its height of the record, it has like this gospel feel to it, and especially at the tail end of the verses. And then I think that song is just about opposing sides and opposing just for stupid reasons, whether it be racism or classism or just anything, or you're this on this football team, I'm on this football team, I hate you. All of it's just pointless and stupid in the scheme of life, which I think this album is about, just life. It's just pointless at the end of the day. Like, what's the line? Black and blue, who knows which is which, who is who, up and down, and in the end it's only round and round and round. Like, in the end, all this shit don't matter. We just going in circles about stupid shit. That's what I got from it. And again, that fucking saxophone solo, they're bringing out the sax on like half of the album is just dope. Like, and then it goes into Any Color You Like, which is an instrumental track as well. But that transition, I didn't even notice the song change until I looked down. I was like, oh wait, this ain't even the same song. This is amazing. This is what I'm talking about right here. And coming after Us and Them, and I feel like the title itself could be like a us versus them thing, or just choices, whatever the meaning may be. That instrumental is fucking amazing and just dope. So I didn't do so much research. If you know the backstory of that, just let me know in the comments. But to me, it just sounds like a continuation theme of that, just with the title, and the music itself is just beautiful. Again, I think it's just a continuation just of the instrumental from Us and Them. So that's what I got from it. Brain Damage. The song was partially inspired by their band member who wasn't in the band anymore, because I wouldn't say it's because of this, but he had like mental issues or whatsoever. And I guess I didn't do so much backstory on it. You can let me know, but it seems like, you know, it got so bad that he kind of they had to separate. Like, I read like somewhere that in the middle of their shows, he would just go into a whole nother thing, like playing wise. Like, he would just play some other stuff, like in the middle of blah, blah, blah. And, you know, for a band, I guess that having that is it'll be tough, I would assume. I like this song because I dealt with friends and have friends and still have friends who deal with mental issues and things of that nature. So it was just great to hear a song just talking about that, and the way they talked about it was amazing as well. And I don't know if how I would feel if I was the other friend though. Like don't kick me out of the band to dedicate a song to me about called Brain Damage. It's a line. It says the lunatic is in my head. The lunatic is in my head. You raise the blade. You can make the change. You rearrange me until I'm sane. You lock the door and throw away the key. And there's someone in my head, but it's not me. And I felt like that line was like, when they send people with mental institutions to these houses and so-called hospitals, and they lock them away and they strip them of people they love and they put them on this medication, and it's supposed to make you feel better, but you feel more alone than you ever felt. Like they're not even letting you control your thoughts anymore. They're not even letting you see the family the people you love. And then some more times than often, the people you love put you in those situations, and not just because you're not. They don't like you anymore. They love you and they want you to get help as well. And it's just it's a slippery, tough subject to like kind of deal with. Yeah. It's just a difficult thing to kind of deal with, but I appreciate them writing that record, man. It's a great record. It kind of has this feel of Dear Prudence to me, especially towards the end. Just the vibe of the guitar and the way they're singing is very Beatle-esque, which is probably why I like it as well. Great record though. To go into the final record, which again I didn't even realize it switched over, but the final record is Eclipse, and again, I didn't even notice the song change until the album went off, and I was like, "Where's the next song?" I thought it was a song after Brain Damage, but that was the song. I think it was a great way to end the record. It kind of just saying like, in the end, don't take this life shit too seriously. To me, that's what I got from it. Like even through all this shit, don't take this life shit too seriously. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What isn't? Isn't. You shouldn't stress over things of that nature and things of that nature. That's what I got from it. Just the closing of the album. But let's get to my best songs, favorite songs. The Great Gig in the Sky, Us and Them, and Brain Damage. Worst song for me is Money. Nothing wrong with the song. It's just felt like in 2021 I heard a lot of songs that kind of talks about that. Best line, all that you touch and all that you see, all that you taste, all that you feel, all that you love, all that you hate, all you distrust, all you save, all that you give, all that you deal, all that you buy, beg, borrow, or steal, and all you create and all you destroy and all you do and all that you say. It's like a bunch of like, this is the last line. If it's Dragon, you know what it is though. All that you eat and everyone you meet, all that you slight, everyone you fight, all that is now, all that is gone, all that's to come, everything that's under the sun is in tune, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. And it's like I said again, you go through all this shit in life and it's always something bigger. It's always another challenge. It's always something new. It's always problems. It's always pain. It's always happiness. It's always just something. So just live for something and don't take this shit too seriously and just live, for lack of better words. And that was on Eclipse. That was why I said it kind of summed up the whole. If this album is just about life, it kind of summed up that. Fucks Given, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I think this album's perfect. Like I think it lived up to everything that people said it was. I'm glad that I finally listened to it. I'm mad that I'm just listening to it. But it's a great album. I can see myself going back and listening to Brain Damage. I can see myself going back and listening to the songs that I thought was great. And it is a great album. And it's crazy that they made this in 73. It's just crazy when they can make great records in old times, and just the effort they put into it, that it's just amazing. So let's wrap this up. God only knows. I guess that was the wrap up, kind of. Yeah, I guess that was kind of the wrap. I'll just blend it together. I'm gonna just repeat myself if I do a wrap up and recap. But great album. Yeah, it's just a great album. I don't know what else I could say. What do you think? Is this Pink Floyd's best album? Let me know. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Let's discuss it in the comments. Where were you when you first heard this? Why am I so late listening to this? And that's pretty much it. But as always, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.